This show is brought to you by Databril, the scalable Amazon PPC management for large Amazon sellers and brands. Visit sellersessions.com/agency for more details. Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions. Today I bring back Chris McCabe, who's just been on the red eye. He's just landed. He looks red eye, but he's looking very tired.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, so today...
Just off the flight from Seattle. Very exciting week in Seattle. We'll have to talk about it sometime.
Cool. All right, but today's subject, the most pushing thing is what's going on with these reviews, mate?
Right. So, I mean, they were under a lot of pressure. This is a big subject. There's a lot we could say. The summary is they were under a lot of pressure to take action on fake reviews. Unfortunately, they err on the side.
They being Amazon. Yep.
Amazon.
Yep.
They, as always, the same with account suspensions, same philosophy. They err on the side of, you know, more action versus less, which means, unfortunately,
shoot you in the face first, ask questions later.
Right. Deleting some emails that are deleting some reviews that are probably legitimate. We had a variety of sources reach out to these guys and get some answers on why so many legit reviews are getting deleted. The answer that came back was suspicious behavior. They were very vague about it. Suspicious behavior around how many reviews came in within what time frame and how positive they were. They've tasked engineers with building a tool, a script, whatever it might be, to grab as many reviews as possible that even might slightly be suspicious or be too positive within too tight a time frame, which will sweep up a lot of legit reviews along with illegitimate positive reviews. Unfortunately, they've deleted some, but not many, as far as I'm concerned, fake negative reviews. They've just been attacking positive ones. So that's hitting legitimate sellers a lot more than it is the black hat types who were leaving fake reviews, fake negatives for their competition. So it's very haphazard. If they think it's suspicious, which is very vague, they may take some action. So we've just been having our clients report through seller support, create a case, and then take that case and report it to as many policy and product review abuse teams as possible. So,
yeah. Now I've spoken to a couple of sellers, and they've been using their own methods in terms of doing a follow up with support, explaining the situation. In some cases, they're asking about the early review program because some of those were pulled away as well.
I know.
So it does seem like there's a spread because obviously, look, let's be straight. There are people out there doing friends and family stuff who might go onto a Facebook group and go, basically, they've lost loads of reviews. They only go after organic. But let's be honest, I think there's a massive chunk of Amazon sellers, even if they don't go full on black hat stuff, they're doing the friends and family to get kickoff reviews and grow organic reviews from there. Because they find maybe it's very difficult to get the very first reviews, but no one's going to sit there in the group. Hey, I've lost all of my fake reviews I've got through friends and families and black hat methods and gift cards and stuff like that. What shall I do? Because they're not the kind of questions people would ask in a Facebook group. But it's interesting where they've just gone nuts and then they've just gone a wipeout. I know someone who had over 1,000 reviews wiped out and left with 224. And that was like, again, across the board. And like another one, there's another guy who's been on the show who had a load of these organic reviews knocked off, literally nearly all of them. And all what was left was the fake negative reviews by other competition who's trying to take them out the game.
It's common. I've heard about that all week.
So
until last week.
Let's unpick this a little bit more. So you're saying that it's come down from the top. Obviously, you've got a few sources and stuff inside. Is this the leverage thing that normally happens? Someone writes something bad in the press, Amazon jump, and it's done that again. So was it a particular article that led to this?
Well, I mean, the Wall Street Journal article was the one that I was quoted in that made some impact, but this has been brewing for a while. They've been working on ways to police and regulate reviews. I think the main issue here is they haven't found the right way, the accurate way to do it. So they have this scattershot method, right? It's just a shotgun blast. Might get some good ones, might get some bad ones, but they have to look like they're taking some action. They can't promise that they know exactly what everyone's doing on this or that Facebook group, exactly how many reviews were impacted by PayPal reimbursements. They're never going to know that.
Yeah.
Unless there's a seller who reports all of that in detail on a competitor, and Amazon can verify it all, which they have no time to do. Sometimes they do if they're forced to, and you push them enough, as I've found out. Other times they don't want to take the time to do it unless it's really easy and a layup, something they can figure out.
Do you know of if this is correct? I haven't looked into it myself. I may have asked you on the show before, but I can't remember. I'm getting old.
It's all right.
I think it was in the terms and conditions of PayPal. I need to check. And under the GDPR, would they have to show who they share information with? And I think that PayPal shares information with Amazon, which may explain towards the PayPal, when people are buying reviews and then giving back the money by PayPal and being pulled for it. And someone mentioned the other day of having a relationship with Facebook as well, because obviously with what's going on in these groups and stuff like that.
Right.
Can you shed any light on that at all?
Well, no, and that was in the same article. But I mean, my opinion is that Facebook enforcement people and Amazon investigators should get together in the same room and talk about what they're going to do about all these Facebook groups that are churning reviews out left and right. Because obviously, like you said earlier, sellers, to me, appear dependent on these other ways of getting reviews and getting these, the illicit means of getting their rank to stay where it is and to get their product noticed on Amazon. But I think it's a new dawn, a new era where people, I mean, you're the marketing expert much more than I am, right? I mean, people have to get brand awareness generated in other ways at this point. You can't be relying on this anymore. You can from messaging buyers through the communications portal asking for reviews. That was the other main way people were doing things, right?
Yeah.
And Amazon's eventually going to shut that off too, because there's just too much bad activity in this space on this issue.
Yeah. Well, obviously it's led to abuse and stuff, but at some point the market regulates itself. Yeah. So when you see this, like at the moment, you've got the review velocity thing, haven't you? People being capped. There are some people that are very good, who've got a great funnel that are maybe actually in terms of service, have such a great product that appeals to someone, to the buyer, that their review metrics are then skewed because they do so well with it. They're on a cap the same as everyone else. So they get tarred with the same brush, which is in some cases unfair as well. But look, Amazon understands that sellers need reviews to kickstart the process. Yeah. Amazon has a review program. And I know it's probably difficult to scale this, but they should do more to open this out. Because at the end of the day, if they've got their own set of reviewers, which they have, and they are closely controlled, why not open the floodgates a little bit more? Yeah, I know there's special.
They'll have to take over. I mean, it's like 10 years ago, the U.S. government taking over the banks. It's going to have to be a situation like that.
Yeah.
They don't want to shut the public off completely. I don't think they want to necessarily say, nope, no unverified reviews ever on any product at all.
Yeah.
And I don't think they want to close it off. So we have a select group of reviewers. We'll control them. We'll regulate them. Everyone else can piss off. I don't think they want to do that either.
Yeah.
Because they want to keep the public involved. But
do you know what I think the biggest problem that you can run into here as well, sorry to cut across you there, is if, like the review system, like everyone relies on numbers. It's like we live in this world now where, views matter, doesn't it? Attention matter, of course. People
likes and friends and
exactly. And so people get lost in like, oh, that's got 1,000 reviews, therefore I've only got 200, therefore my product doesn't convert.
Right.
I don't see that as the full truth. But then again, I don't sell products that do 500, 300, 200 units a day, right? So I'm probably wrong to speak on it. But what I've spoke about on the show before with other people, which could be a good idea, instead of review volume, you focus on review quality. So instead, when you get to the search pages and you see the reviews, instead of the amount of reviews, it gives the star rating.
Right.
You can click into the review to see how many reviews it's got. But if it only shows the star rating, people's goal will not be the volume of the reviews, but the quality of the reviews, right? Which is a different mindset, because in that way is that I think you get a problem where you're going to get competition trying to take you out of the game. That's true. But if there was a way that Amazon only showed the star rating rather than the amount of reviews, then people would be focused more on the quality rather than the quantity.
I think that it might. I agree. I mean, that's the ideal, and it might be wishful thinking a little bit because don't forget, like click farms wouldn't exist if the number of click-throughs on a page didn't impact the search algorithms, right? So quantity can't disappear entirely. Until Amazon makes that a less important piece of the algorithm, which none of us have access to that. People make educated guesses, but that's as far as it gets. So with reviews, I mean, the unfortunate part of what's happened lately is, like you said, if you're successful with something and a flood of good reviews come in from a good campaign, from getting word out there and people actually like the product within a certain time frame, those are the crude tools Amazon's using to measure whether or not you might be up to something, and then they, guilty until proven innocent. So you might be a victim of your own success where you look like you're doing something illicit to get a bunch of good reviews within a tight time frame. And Amazon, unfortunately, is just focused on how many good reviews did you get within a tight time frame without assessing whether or not you were within TOS or not, which is crazy because that's where it should all derive from, TOS violation or no violation, right? They don't, but the thing is, like everything else, they don't have the time, they don't have the energy or the wherewithal. They have the wherewithal, but they don't actually apply it to sort through this mess themselves. They'd rather figure out the easy way, the scalable way, execute it, and then if they have to reinstate some or restore some reviews, fine, we'll let people appeal, quote unquote, because there's no official appeals process for this, really. And we'll let some reviews back on. Everyone else can sort this out for themselves. So
makes sense. Suspensions. So there's a new run of suspensions at the moment, isn't it? Is it inauthentic claims or what is it?
No, they've started I wish I had the messaging right in front of me, but saying that you have not substantially proven your rights owner infringement against this seller. In other words, you're submitting notice claims for IP or trademark or copyright, but they don't think the claims hold water. This is not a new topic.
No.
But sellers reporting sellers and being blasted for fake infringements or clogging up the queues simply because the seller who's reporting, they interpret these rules to mean, if somebody's selling an item that's materially different because a warranty is not present or because not the same safety standards are being applied here, or maybe not even the same packaging is used here, that means there's an intellectual property violation or a trademark violation, copyright, so forth. Therefore, this rises to the level of Amazon's criteria for a rights owner infringement. Amazon doesn't agree with that. They're tired of getting one seller ratting out another, especially if the ratting out part doesn't work and if it's a non-legal mind reporting somebody just to take them out. So their reaction in the last 6-7 days from what I've seen is to suspend sellers until they can get a proper POA that says, A, we're never going to do this again. B, we figured out why this was an incorrect way of pursuing this, and we shouldn't have pursued it to begin with. And C, if we have future rights owner claims to submit, we will do them with the proper legal guidance. Again, this is a byproduct. This is something I think we talked about before. This is a byproduct of people who are kind of pitching legal services aimed at, hey, you want to take your competitor out? I found a great gray area here. And, we'll do it for you, or we'll write it up for you. You send it in. Maybe some of the law firms are sending it in on their law firm letterhead. Maybe they don't want to be associated with such weak legal reasoning. The bottom line is Amazon's intolerant of this, and they're suspending people left and right for it now. So
there's two
by
parts.
By the way, in my opinion, that's the correct move by Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, if someone's actively doing it and it's fake to try and take a competitor out the game and they get suspended, then that's the risk that they took. Like if you want to find time out of your day to use negative energy to not work on your own business, but try and go after and take someone else's business out just so you can get ahead of them, if you get suspended, that is your problem. I don't see why you'd want to do that. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I just don't feel the vibe. I've done something on the show a couple of weeks ago where I was speaking to Libran, and Amazon asked me if I wanted to report a a brand registered page, like an EBC page,
Mm-hmm.
because they wouldn't accept mine, but mine was very, very similar to theirs. I followed theirs as a guideline. And I said, well, how come this one's been accepted and mine hasn't? And they couldn't come to the conclusion of why there and then to give me, like, articulate it to me.
Right.
What they did say is, if you want to report it, and I said, look, I'm not interested in pissing on someone else's parade. I'm trying to launch a product here. All I want to do is sort myself out. I worry about my own business and not everyone else's, you know. At the end of the day, that's the best thing you can do, is worry about your own business. But obviously there are people out there who are quite happy to go after people and do negative reviews and try and take them out of the game. I mean, we've got someone in my mastermind group here in the UK, same problem. And they've reverse engineered, and they've found out that this guy who's doing it is quite well known in circles, you know.
Not surprised.
They were going to put him on blast, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand the mindset. Maybe I'm just this.
I can explain it, I think. I think most sellers that are doing this wrongly are falling into two groups. Some of them, they think it's a loophole. They can exploit it. They know it's really weak legal reasoning, but they think it's a good tool, a good weapon, and they're going to use it as long as they have it in their back pocket. Yeah. Others, I think, are just sort of convinced because they don't have the legal knowledge by somebody who does have it or pretends to have it, that this is something, a viable path for them that won't violate TOS, and they can make these rights owner allegations on solid legal ground, and they gullibly believe that because they think with a small fee paid, they can solve a lot of their problems. Either way, to Amazon, it's your fault, it's your responsibility.
Okay, so there's two parts here.
To figure out whether your legal team or, you know, some law firm you hire is, you know, pushing bile in your direction or not, and you accept it. I mean, Amazon's not going to fault the law firm. God knows they have law firms that are on their shit list, right? And if you're hiring them, then you're putting your head in the noose already. But if you don't do that, if you're able to backpedal a little bit, roll these back, you can send in a couple of retractions and say, we shouldn't have reported these sellers. I mean, this is after you get a warning, usually, right? You get a performance notification, hey, knock it off. You do not offer, quote unquote, brand protection services the way you say you do. You offer false infringements that are creating headaches and work and stress and heartache for us. So stop doing it. And then I would recommend that sellers retract the claims they've submitted at that point.
Yes, it makes sense. There's people that have been wrongly advised and may be genuine in the fact there is an infringement on behalf of their product. Then you're going to pursue that, aren't you? But if you're told by a legal person and that it's meant to be the truth, you're going to go with the word of the legal advice generally. Yeah, generally. But if you're doing it intently to actually take someone out the game and you've got no grounds for it, that's just a different moral compass. That's a new level, isn't it? That's like ambulance chasing.
There are those people. I mean, I have talked to a lot of sellers, it should be said, that really believed that they had legal standing, and they said, well, we work with a lot of sellers, we consult sellers, and we want to start offering brand protection services. This is how everyone seems to phrase it, but they're sellers. And they're either using bad legal advice or their own complete lack of legal knowledge to make a huge judgment on what they can and can't do within the Amazon system.
Yeah.
And they're taking on a huge risk, and they don't seem to know that they're kind of playing Russian roulette when they start offering these brand protection services. And maybe you know this better than me. From my perspective, I don't know why nobody seems to be taking a step back like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Maybe this will get us into trouble. So,
what's your take on the transparency program?
I've had some people complaining about the cost of it, and I actually don't know how much it costs off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And I had some people complaining that they didn't think it would do enough and they didn't want to partake in it because it wouldn't solve the problem. I mean, it seems like on paper it would solve some of the counterfeit issues that people face of their brands showing up in inferior form.
Yeah.
But I don't have any data on transparency. I don't know if they're rolling this stuff out slowly or what, but.
Yeah, no, it's a new pilot they've launched recently, haven't they? Yeah. But I've had mixed feedback from people. I'm not in the program, but I've had mixed feedback from people say, it's probably worse than the SAM project. What was it? That $42,000 a year? Get yourself an account manager who knows.
Well, that's marketplace growth now. That's still around. That's just a new name. But yeah, I mean, transparency. in theory, it's great, right? I mean, on paper, it sounds fantastic, maybe, but
Yeah.
it's the same. I've had people complaining about Amazon exclusives too, not being able to protect their brands
Yeah.
the way they thought they could. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
well, Amazon, as we know, Amazon wants to keep it an open marketplace. They don't want to give you any of these programs for you to control distribution. Amazon will control that.
Right. That's the problem.
But then what do you do when you're Nike and stuff like that? They must have to, I know that Bezos doesn't bow to many, but the larger brands, I mean, that's a different level, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, they'd have to have different, if there are that many resellers of a particular brand, they would need a different playbook.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem fair, but I mean, it just makes sense.
Cool. All right. Is there anything you want to add before you go?
No, I mean, there's a lot going on. I don't know where most of your people are. You've got some in the UK. I'm going to be in London. I'm going to be going to a meetup there in a few weeks into September.
Cool. When you're over, it'd be good to see you.
Yeah, the one that Tame Bay is doing, that's September 20th, I believe. Yeah. So I'm there the week of like the 19th to the 25th, somewhere around there.
I'll see you then. Yeah.
Yeah, we should get together. And then there's a couple shows coming up. There's one in New York that I'm sponsoring. I don't know, maybe you can include the links with the podcast, right?
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, just talking to people about the membership, everyone's of course worried about getting suspended heading into Q4. So I just spent a lot of time talking about avoidance of suspension at this point.
Cool. And email to reach out to you?
Yeah, chris@ecommercechris.com. And yeah,
excellent.
Ask me any questions you like.
Cool. Guys, thank you for joining us. Chris, thanks for joining us. If this is your first time, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you again in a few days' time. Take care.